All right, welcome back. Want to start, because we haven't gotten to this segment in the last 2 or 3 weeks. We just run out of time with our Frenzy 5. And there's not a lot of, well, it's pretty unanimous in the Frenzy 5. We all have St. John's as the #1 team. Neshoba, we all have #2. 3 and 4, we flip-flop. Jim and I have Wachusett at 3. Kevin has Shrewsbury, and vice versa at 4 for both. And then we all have Doherty at the 5 spot. And those are all teams that we think are the 5 best teams right now in Central Massachusetts. Now, #2, we all have Neshoba. They are in Division 4. They score a big win over Tantascwa. Their defense was outstanding in this game. Cold weather game, a lot of wind at Commerce Bank Field, but the defense really came up to play, and you know, their linebackers were unbelievable again at Neshoba. It seems like they always seem to reload those guys.
This is their, you know, this is their time of year.
Yeah,
they've been here. They're every year they're in this position. If they're not playing at Gillette, they're playing for a spot in Gillette. So I think having that, you know, it was typical, not taking anything away from Tantascwa, but you can tell it's the big game kind of mentality. Tantascwa just they couldn't, nothing they did wrong. They couldn't beat Neshoba. Yeah. Neshoba came out loaded. They had great running game. Their defense stood tall, took everything they shot at them. It was a great win for them.
It was the defense. It was the defense that won the game, because the defense forced turnovers that led to touchdowns, and then they forced a 3-and-out where Tantascwa had to punt in their own end zone against that wind, and the ball went out of bounds at the 10-yard line. Right. It was all because of the wind just shut everything down. But the defense, Alex Childs couldn't be blocked. We're watching, Andy and I are watching the game. Alex Childs is awesome. I mean, he's a running back. He kicks for him. He was 4 for 4 on PATs. He's a defensive end, and whenever they tried to run option, he was right there forcing it, and their pursuit to the football is awesome, because Tantascwa is not one-dimensional. They'll run option, they'll run counters, they run, wing T, they'll go power I. Whatever they threw at them, Tantascwa, or Neshoba rather, blew up the point of attack, and they had great pursuit to the football.
Yeah, and Tantascwa did throw a range of things at him.
Yeah.
Little jump pass out of the Wildcat with Sears. They had some things going, and made some plays, did Tantascwa, in this game. But as Jamie Tucker said, our guys came up, stepped up, and kind of, answered that. But, you got the sense that you almost had to play a perfect game if you're going in to play Neshoba in this game in Central Massachusetts. And if 1 or 2 things go against you, Neshoba will exploit it. And they did. So they have Gloucester. That game is on Friday night. I believe it's at Woburn High, something like that. So
Gloucester's loaded. They're going to be.
Gloucester's big. The Fishermen are ready.
Fishermen over 400 yards offense in their 3 postseason game. Each of their games, it's a tall task. But which is great how the defense stepped up against Tantascwa. Because they have another battle. You got to keep the heavyweight belt on them.
Yeah.
Well, these guys, at Neshoba, these guys have all been playing together, most of them, since 3rd or 4th grade. Playing youth football since 3rd or 4th grade. So there's a lot of familiarity there with the Neshoba kids in terms of knowing their roles, knowing their strengths and weaknesses. And then on offense, Sam Belinsky, you can't get a more seasoned quarterback, a 3-year starter. He got hurt last year in the game at Gillette, but took him to Gillette. Didn't get to play a lot in that game because he got hurt real early. But this is a guy who's seen it all and has been through it all, and he's a great leader. And he's a real accurate passer.
He's a big kid, too.
Oh, he's huge.
Can run the football, scored a touchdown with his legs as well in this one. So Neshoba is back, and, what did Child say to us? Something to the effect, hey, we have one more game. We might as well just win it. I mean, that's a pretty good attitude.
Yeah.
You bring that in to Gloucester. And so Neshoba plays Friday night. Then in Division 5, we've got Nipmuc. And Happy Days is gone. They were rolling with Happy Days last year, and they played West Springfield in this game, and Westside ultimately won the game. They get a tall task when they get Longmeadow, a team with almost twice as many boys in the school in Division 5. And Longmeadow, a team that used to play St. John's and play in that higher division in this game in years past, albeit under a different scenario, a playoff structure. So Nipmuc, special team, got it done again with a big win over Northbridge.
It was a great win for Northbridge. They knew it was one of those rematches that didn't go the same way as it did the regular season. I think Nipmuc's been playing really well. They had a great win over Oakmont, the week before. So I mean, they're just a power right now. I think they have probably one of the best passer receiver combinations around. Nate Gould at the receiver, Judah Dishington at quarterback. They just make things happen, and they don't do too much flashiness. This is what we're going to do. Try to stop it. Kind of thing. I think that's what happened with Richie Broney, running back, good, solid, stout young man. He's gonna try to
I like he's like Keith
Stout.
Jackson.
Yeah.
He's a stout young man, that
right.
Richie Bruni. Oh, I talked to his daddy earlier.
Exactly. So I mean, they got three. Longmeadow's going to be tough. I mean, like I said, I watched them. Back when they played, trying to beat Shrewsbury and Mario Johnson.
Right.
It's like one of those. They had the wagon for the last couple of years. Division 5. I don't know how that. I want to see the math. I want to see the math how they're in Division 5.
It's a little bit of this.
The shell game.
Nipmuc's healthy for the first time all year.
Yes.
Coach Hill talked about it at the game. They got all of their linemen back. They were healthy for the first time, so they thought they could run the ball, and they were right. You get an all-league lineman. He was an all-CMAS All-Star last year. He's been out all year. You put that piece in front of Richie Brony and let him go. 30 carries, 172 yards for Brony. When you look at Gould, too, he's just a great playmaker. He's an awesome high school football player because he's a kid that plays all three faces. He kicks for them,
right,
and he's a defensive end, outside linebacker, and a wide receiver for him. So he's making the plays offensively, but he had a couple big sacks in this game, and he was pressuring the quarterback for Northbridge Brewer all game long.
And what he did was he went up and got a ball early in that game, took it away from a defender, and then finished the play, took off, and gave Nipmuc the momentum on Northbridge, that early lead, get that confidence flowing. They'll have to do it again against a Longmeadow team that just beat East Longmeadow, a team that they'll have to then play again on Thanksgiving. That's their Thanksgiving rivalry out west. Longmeadow hasn't been to a D2. Well, they lost in the D2 state finals in 2014. That was the only time they were in, and they were D2 at the time. Again, times are different.
Yeah, different format.
Worlds apart.
Interesting, though, for Nipmuc. So they've won it now 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
They've won the Central Mass Super Bowl 3 years in a row. You talked about the quarterback, Dishington, Brony, and Gould. All three are juniors. All three come back next year. So, Coach Hill has got a program going there at Nipmuc, and you got to give him a lot of credit because he is really built that entire thing up, that it's not one and done, one class of superstars. They continue just reload, and that's impressive.
This was a big game in Central Mass. This is the game they pointed to, the one they wanted. Now you're kind of playing a little bit with house money, but you go up against a Longmeadow team that's bigger than you are size-wise. Yeah. Is it hey, let's go out and play loose? This is a better situation for Nipmuc, no pressure. Let's go out and try to win this thing, and everyone thinks we're the underdog. Or how do they play this?
Yeah, exactly. You know what? It's like we said about Neshoba. We're here, we're playing, we might as well win it.
Sure.
It's one of those things. It doesn't matter how you got there. You're there. Every other team wants to be there. They have a great team. Why not? Let's go. What do you have to lose against? You can only, no matter how. I always with the alignment thing or the enrollment stuff, you have to play 11 guys.
Right.
So it doesn't matter if you have 500 kids to choose from or 800 kids to choose from. Nipmuc's gonna find 11 talented kids in the football field and make Longmeadow try to stop them.
And a lot of that too comes on the coaches. Like if you hear a coach crying about that, then it filters down to the players. Coach Hill's not going to talk about it. He doesn't care. He doesn't care what Longmeadow has. If they got 3,000 kids, fine, let's line up and play. Now, if your coach has that attitude, that filters down through the team too. Hey, they put their pants on the same way we do, one leg at a time. Let's go out, smash them in the mouth from the first play of the game, show them who we are, where we're from, and let them know at the end of the game who they played. Hit them so hard that at the end of the game, they will remember for the rest of their lives playing Nipmuc.
Outstanding. Listen, they will remember. They remember that back at Acton. The Maynard kids remembered how you felt when they were taking you to the turf. 14-6 is the record, Central Mass winning record over Western Mass in these types of games since 2013. I think Western Mass know that? Or is that just a stat we concoct?
I think they probably know, because didn't they clean sweep them last year?
Last year was 2-2.
Okay.
Central Mass had a couple of buys.
What was the 4-0 year?
4-0 was 2013, the first year with Central Mass. So Central Mass has an edge in this game. Western Mass has never won a state championship. Central Mass has a couple, including a St. John's win last year. All right, we are back with Valley Tech. We have not forgot you.
No way.
We have not forgotten.
Just let it breathe a little bit.
We're saving you for the last segment. We're talking Littleton, we're talking St. Bees, and Valley Tech as our preview to the state championship, state semifinals continues here on the Extra.